Opa, eu tô aqui esperando saber se a gente se a gente tá ao vivo ou não. Meu suporte me deu um hello aqui que estamos ao vivo. Eu vou botar vocês aqui, vocês me falam se vocês estão me vendo bem, me ouvindo bem. Nossa convidada já tá aqui. Temos uma convidada exclusivíssima americana. Então vocês se preparem que hoje nós vamos falar aqui em inglês, mas eu quero que vocês fiquem tranquilos, porque eu sei que falar inglês acaba sendo não, né? É um grande desafio. Eu vou falar para vocês que eu só consegui manter uma conversação em inglês aqui nos Estados Unidos depois de 1 ano e meio que eu tava por aqui. Então, fiquem tranquilos. Aqui vocês vão pegar o que vocês conseguirem. Eu vou parando aqui em alguns momentos e vou dando uma esclarecida para vocês, mas depois isso aqui vai ficar gravado de forma legendada, tá? Então, fiquem tranquilos porque aqui a gente vai falando com vocês. O que vocês não entenderem aqui, vocês vejam depois com legenda, isso é tranquilo. Antes, pessoal, de chamar a nossa convidada aqui, eu quero falar para vocês que essa live aqui, ela não surgiu do nada. Às vezes você que está aí me vendo, você não sabe, mas as universidades americanas têm um carinho especial pelo brasileiro, pelo aluno brasileiro. Os brasileiros, eles são muito conhecidos pela dedicação, pelo esforço, pela seriedade acadêmica, né, que eles levam os compromissos deles. E é por isso que a Illinois Tech, a gente tem mentorados lá na Illinois Tech já, né, óbvio, brasileiros. Ela chegou até a gente. Eles sabem que o brasileiro ele chega para dar o seu melhor. Eles sabem que o brasileiro ele chega com sangue nos olhos e eles têm um bom histórico de alunos brasileiros. E além disso, vocês sabem que está tendo muita informação sensacionalista por parte da mídia em termos de imigração nos Estados Unidos. Muita gente está confundindo aí é, o endurecimento, né, das regras, de realmente de ser seguida as regras, tá confundindo, achando que não tem mais como ir para os Estados Unidos. A gente sabe que não é assim que funciona. As universidades americanas estão recebendo alunos estrangeiros e a universidade americana é aquele caminho para você entrar pela porta da frente, com um visto legal, com bolsa 100%, né? É o caminho mais seguro, eu diria, hoje, agora em 2026. Então, a universidade, inicialmente a Illinois Tech, a gente tem uma parceria com eles desde o ano passado, nossa primeira live foi o ano passado, eles vêm com essa intenção de esclarecer que os internacionais são bem-vindos para aplicar. Inclusive, a diretora de admissão estava me falando aqui que já temos alunos brasileiros da nossa mentoria aceitos agora para 2026. Então, a gente já tem alunos que vão começar agora em 2026. Então, é uma parceria que faz sentido para nós, porque a gente traz os nossos mentorados para as universidades americanas, e para eles, porque eles atraem mais brasileiros que são super talentosos. Eu não sei se vocês sabem, vou falar com vocês aqui, eu e a Sara, a gente tem uma missão, né? A gente quer colocar um brasileiro em cada universidade americana. Pelo menos um brasileiro em cada universidade americana. Só que vocês, nossos mentorados, vocês não ajudam, né? Porque todo mundo quer ir para Flórida, todo mundo quer ir para Chicago, que é onde é Illinois Tech, todo mundo quer ir para o Texas, para Califórnia e para Nova York. Tô precisando que vocês vão pro Alabama. Alabama a gente já tem. Tô precisando de uma Montana. Montana a gente já tem. Iowa também temos. Estamos precisando, assim, de um Delaware. Estamos precisando de um Delaware, de um Alasca. A gente teve uma mentorada aprovada no Alasca, mas eu não sei se ela foi. Fala aqui nos comentários qual a sua cidade ou qual o seu estado dos sonhos. Fala para mim ver aqui. Denver, Colorado, já temos um monte lá. Fala para mim qual que é a sua cidade dos sonhos, onde você realmente quer estar. Me conta, porque eu adoro ler esses comentários. Georgia já temos mentorados aí. Alasca eu vou, então vai pra gente. Wyoming a gente não tem, eu acho, viu? Wyoming a gente não. No Alasca tem, é verdade, no Alasca tem, Marina. Você tem razão. A gente tem mentorado. Essa menina foi para o Alasca, então? Seattle, a gente tem. Em Boston é o que mais tem, comunidade brasileira. Flórida, não. Ah, não. Flórida, Boston, Texas, Califórnia, Chicago, tudo isso a gente tem muito. Nebraska, a gente tem aprovados em Nebraska, mas eu acho que eles acabaram não indo, não sei se foram para Nebraska. Indianópolis a gente tem mentorado. Austin, Havaí. A Havaí tinha uma mentorada aprovada, mas eu não sei se ela foi. Ai, gente, eu queria uns estados diferentes, tá vendo? Nem vocês não querem ir para os estados diferentes. Todos a gente tem: Tennessee, Indiana, Carolina do Sul, Carolina do Norte. Não, Flórida tem uma comunidade brasileira inteira lá. Então, assim, eu quero que vocês deem uma variedade aí, dê uma diversificada. Aí, pessoal, e por falar em ir para os Estados Unidos, né? Esse final de semana a gente fez uma imersão, foram 2 dias de imersão encontrando sua bolsa. Tiveram centenas de participantes e pessoas que realmente encontraram programas compatíveis com o perfil. Se você que está aqui me ouvindo, escuta isso aqui. Se você que está aqui me ouvindo participou da imersão, eu e a Sara, a gente preparou uma surpresa para você hoje, você que está aqui na live. Eu pedi para nossa equipe enviar lá no grupo uma informação. Então, assim que terminar a live aqui, se você participou da imersão, você vai lá no grupo ver o que eu pedi para mandar para vocês, beleza? Então, vamos lá, eu vou chamar a nossa convidada aqui. Quero lembrar para você ficar tranquila em relação ao inglês. Se fosse eu, antes de vir para os Estados Unidos, eu não ia entender, eu ia entender 5%. Quando eu cheguei aqui nos Estados Unidos, eu falei para vocês, né? Eu entendi, assim, 10% do que os professores falavam na sala de aula. Monique, como que você fez? Eu fiquei estudando, né, gente? Eu gravava o que o professor falava, escutava em casa, eu li os livros. É um processo de muito bunda na cadeira. Muito segredo, não. Eu vou chamar aqui a Claire. A Claire, ela é diretora de admissão do colégio de negócios ali da Illinois Tech. A Illinois Tech é uma universidade que fica em Chicago, ou seja, né, sonho de muita gente. Ela foi fundada, gente, em 1890, então assim, ó, bem antiga. Lá na Illinois Tech tem programa de engenharia, tem programas de biomédicas, de ciências, de negócios, né, que é a área da Claire, de design, de direito, de humanidades. Então, assim, tem bastante programa, tem bastante bolsa, tem muito internacional, né? É uma universidade muito estratégica para você que quer ir para a área dos negócios. A Claire, ela vai dar um ênfase maior aqui nos negócios, né? Falando sobre parte de business, mas tudo que ela falar aqui para business serve para você também de outras áreas. Presta atenção no que ela vai falar. Ela vai falar coisas muito importantes sobre aluno de pós-graduação e sobre admissão na pós-graduação. Claire, welcome to our live. We have almost 200 people live now. I'm sure more people are gonna join us. So thank you so much for joining us, for giving us this opportunity to hear from you. You are part of our American University. I was just telling them now that you'll be here talking with us. It's an assurance that we still are good to go to the United States to study in universities, even though we've been here a lot about immigration in the US. International students are still welcome. So I was just reassuring them that they still can apply. There's still lots of opportunity for international students. So thank you so much for being here tonight talking with us.
Thank you so much, Monique, and it's exciting to be here. So hello, everybody on the call, and I guess I would like to start off by reassuring you even more that you're very much welcome in the United States and in Chicago and our university to study, despite changes that have been going on with our administration and what you might see on the news. We still want diversity and students from all over the world in our programs. And I think that is also the case with companies and employers within Chicagoland. As a couple examples, we have one of our current students who was hired on for an internship with a company in Chicago for this summer, and another student who just graduated and was hired into a role in Chicago, both of whom were international students. And so despite the fact that things may not seem as welcoming as they once were, we have examples of students who are still finding a welcoming and thriving community on our campus, but then also once they graduate and they're looking for employment in the US. So obviously we are always careful and mindful in keeping our students safe, but we don't want you to feel like you shouldn't be applying and shouldn't be considering the US, and we'd love to have you. But for today, I'm going to talk a bit about Business School 101 and navigating your business school journey. However, the content I'll go over can be applied to not only business school, but also just navigating your graduate school journey in general, whether you're looking at a business program or biology or engineering or architecture at Illinois Tech or anywhere. A lot of the information that I'll be speaking about today, it can be helpful regardless of your academic interests. So I am with the business school at Illinois Tech, and so that is where my expertise lies in, but a lot of things are similar across different industries. So again, my name is Claire. I'm Director of Recruitment at Illinois Tech's Stewart School of Business. So for those of you who after this session are really interested in studying business in Illinois Tech, please get in touch with me. I'll have my contact info up later. And even if you're not interested in business, but just want to chat with me, you can reach out as well. I'm always happy to advise students as best I can. For today, I'll be going over some content in regards to why business school or why graduate school, if you have different academic interests, some common mistakes to avoid when you're applying for a program here in the US, some things to think about as you're picking what program might be a good fit for you, some tips to build a strong application, and then I will have a few slides just specifically about Stewart School of Business in our programs for those that are really excited about business. And then I hope we'll have
Excuse
time for
me,
Q&A
Clara.
at the yeah.
Let me just go over with them on the topics that we're going to cover today in
Yeah.
Portuguese, so they can be aware that it's going to be that's going to be very important for them to pay attention. Ó, o que que a Clara vai falar hoje? Ela vai falar sobre por que uma escola de negócios. Só que ela vai falar aqui também de por que uma pós-graduação. Então ela vai falar assim, por que fazer uma escola de negócios, né? Uma pós-graduação em negócios. Mas ela diz que vai falar isso com a intenção de falar para todos vocês do por que fazer uma pós-graduação. E aí ela vai falar sobre erros comuns quando você vai aplicar para uma pós-graduação, como que você escolhe o programa certo de pós-graduação para você. Ela vai dar algumas dicas, né, de como construir uma strong application, uma candidatura forte, que é o que a gente ensina para vocês. Vocês têm que construir uma candidatura forte. Ela vai falar um pouco aqui no final sobre a escola de business que ela trabalha e depois ela vai abrir aqui um tempinho para quem tiver perguntas. Thank you, Clara.
Yeah, thank you, Monique. All right, so why business school, but then also why graduate school in general. And this is where I say to students, even before you start applying and filling out your applications and choosing the schools you want to go to, think about what's your why. You know, why is it important for you to get a master's degree or a PhD? Is it for personal interest, for professional development? For the ability to make more money or to move up in your career. So thinking about, you know, why it makes sense for you to get a higher level degree will help you to then go through the full admission process and choose the right program and build a strong application and show us why you're really motivated and excited and committed to studying at Illinois Tech or at any university. Because I can tell when students don't take the time to think about why this is a good choice for them, and it tends to result in a weaker application because it's not as evident to us why they'll be a good fit for our community, how this is going to be helpful to them in their future career. And then we worry, you know, what if we admit this student and they realize we're not a good fit for them and they actually don't want to study the program that they've entered into. And we don't want that to happen. That causes panic and stress. And, you know, we want to be certain that when you step onto our campus, that you have done all of that reflection and have thought about how this really makes sense for you for months and months beforehand. And there's no uncertainty left. So determining what your why means for you and why this is really, really important is key in the process. And everyone's going to have a different reason why they want to get their master's degree in business or in engineering or just in general. And some of the reasons I'll list out here. So here are some common things that may be similar for you for why someone decides to go to graduate school and get their master's degree and their PhD. Certainly there's other reasons, but these are very common reasons and very good reasons for being willing and ready to spend the time and money to get a master's or PhD. So number one, earning more money. Getting a higher level degree often and should equate into higher level salaries that you qualify for because you're gaining more specialized knowledge, you're gaining more expertise, and then companies can see that you have more to offer to them in terms of the work that you're able to contribute, and that can then equate into more money. Perhaps you want to earn a terminal degree, because there are some degrees that, while they're great degrees to achieve for a bachelor's, they may not have a clear-cut career path or as many career opportunities open to you, and you need additional education and a higher level degree to be able to have a specific career path. So as an example, the degree philosophy, that's great to study for your bachelor's, but typically you can't get a job as easily with just a bachelor's in philosophy. You might need to go into law school. Philosophy is a great track to go into law school. Or maybe you need to get your master's and PhD in philosophy to be a professor of philosophy at a university. So there's certain degrees like philosophy which you can't do much with them. You don't have many opportunities if you only have a bachelor's. So in that case, going to grad school makes a lot of sense so that you can open up more options for you. Promotion at work. Oftentimes, your employer might say it's required to have higher level education to open up more promotion opportunities for you. So getting a master's means you're increasing your education, your skills, your knowledge, and this can equate to moving into higher level positions at your company. Personal development. I know I'm the type of person who just loves to learn, and some people are similar in that they may not need a master's degree or a PhD for work reasons or for financial reasons, but they really want to just learn more and develop for themselves personally. And they're lifelong learners, constantly want to be increasing their knowledge, and so getting a master's can also fit that need. And then one last reason that's quite common for pursuing graduate school is better career opportunities. So I can speak to this personally. When I graduated with my bachelor's, I got a job and worked for a couple years, but realized I wanted more options. I didn't want to stay in the path that I'd been in, even though I was enjoying it. It was going to be I was going to be running up against a wall eventually, and there wouldn't have been any other kind of opportunities to continue to grow in my career path. And I needed a master's to be able to branch out and open up more options for myself. So better, more career opportunities is another very common reason to go to grad school. So thinking about these reasons that are listed here, and any others that may be relevant for you, will be helpful to assist you in the process of determining if it makes sense for you to get a master's and why it makes sense for you. And once you have that nailed down and you really determined what these reasons are, you're going to be a lot more motivated and committed and ready to pursue a graduate education. And that's important because it's tough in grad school. You're going to be working hard, and if you don't feel that you are very, very certain that you want to be there, if you don't have a strong motivating reason to pursue that degree, it can be tough to keep going when it's in final season and you have essays and projects and papers, and then you also need to be searching for an internship, and it's a lot. So you really want to make sure that you are there for the right reasons.
Excuse me, Claudia, let me just
Yeah.
reinforce what you just said for the end because that's so important. Like, it's the core of going to graduate school. Why do you want to go? So I'm just gonna go over it a little bit
Yeah.
more em português. Pessoal, se você estava prestando atenção aqui na Claire, conseguiu entender um pouco do que ela estava falando? Ela estava falando que é muito importante vocês entenderem e buscarem em vocês quais são as razões que você quer ir para pós-graduação. E aí ela listou uma série de razões e são todas válidas para ter uma carreira internacional, para ganhar mais dinheiro, para diversificar mais a sua carreira, enfim, você tem uma gama de razões que você pode usar para ir para graduate school. O que não pode é você não saber porque você quer ir para graduate school, e é o que ela falou ali no final. E isso é uma coisa que a gente fala muito para os nossos mentorados. Se você é nosso mentorado, você sabe disso, você já viu as aulas de SOP, você já viu as aulas de e-mail, que a gente fala muito que você precisa saber, precisa dar as razões de você querer fazer um mestrado, um doutorado nos Estados Unidos, porque a Claire falou aqui, no fim das contas, é um programa que você tem que completar. Seja 1 ano e meio, seja 2 anos de mestrado, seja 3, 4 anos de PhD, você tem que finalizar. Eles não querem que você desista no meio do caminho. E, obviamente, uma pessoa que tem um porquê muito forte dentro dela, é mais difícil dela desistir. Ela tem muito mais chances de sucesso se ela tem um porquê forte dentro do coração dela. Então é isso que ela está falando aqui. Os programas querem que vocês tenham sucesso, querem que vocês tenham carreiras de sucesso. Então eles não vão admitir uma pessoa que nem sabe porque essa pessoa quer ir para graduate school. Então é importante que vocês saibam disso. E aí ela colocou aqui, ó, ganhar mais dinheiro, ganhar um nível superior, ainda mais superior na sua carreira, ganhar uma promoção no trabalho, você vai ganhar mais dinheiro no trabalho, desenvolvimento pessoal ou melhores oportunidades de carreira, são todas válidas. Só que estou falando para vocês aqui, para você ficar bem claro. Thank you, Clara. You can go. Go on.
Thank you. All right, now we're going to talk about some mistakes that are common but easily avoidable when you're preparing for and applying to business school or graduate school, and then once you're in graduate or business school. So when you're in that process of preparing to apply or already starting to apply, some mistakes is applying to only one school. Don't apply to just one school. You want to have a couple options that you're applying to, because it's never guaranteed that you'll be admitted. I know you're all probably really strong students, but it's a good idea to apply to at least 2 to 3 is probably a sweet spot for applying for graduate programs. And then that way you have your number one choice that you're really excited about, but just in case you don't get in, you have other great options as well. Another mistake is waiting for the perfect time to pursue your graduate education, because there's never going to be a perfect time. There will always be some reason to say, maybe not now, but then if you keep waiting, you'll never, ever go. So there's not going to be a perfect time. If it's something you really want to do, if you really want to get your master's or your PhD or both, do it. Don't wait, because before you know it, it's going to be 10 years later and you still have not gone. Another mistake is not speaking with admissions, so the Office of Admissions, and faculty at the universities you're considering. Obviously, you're speaking with me or listening to me, and I'm part of admissions, so you can check this one off. You didn't make this mistake. This one's key because you might be reading the website and learning about the program curriculum and the steps to apply, but not everything's on the website, or maybe you skim over something important. But if you meet with the Office of Admissions or a faculty member, you might learn something that isn't on the website or that you might have missed and is a key process towards applying. So don't make this mistake of not speaking with admissions and faculty. Similarly, another mistake is to not speak with current students in the programs you're looking at, or alumni. This is another great way to get a different perspective and a different insight into what the true experience is of being a student in that program or at the university you're looking at. And so don't forget to do this process. And it's easy to connect with current students or alum. You can just email or contact the Office of Admissions at the universities you're interested in, and they are almost always more than happy to connect you with a current student or with an alum. You can also kind of try it on your own and go on LinkedIn and search for students studying in the program in the university that you're interested in and send them a message. A lot of times they will be happy to respond. But this is a mistake that, again, is easily avoidable and really will give you some great insight into the true student experience. And then the final mistake to avoid when you're preparing for and applying is not attending an event. So you can cross this one off as well because you're here with us today attending this event. But various types of virtual and in-person events are offered by universities all throughout the year and are great ways to connect, learn more about the programs and about the university itself. You usually have the opportunity to ask questions that you may be wondering, and so don't miss out on attending events. I know I lead usually 2 to 3 events every month, and most of those are virtual. We'll have in-person events too, in case you are visiting Chicago, but take advantage and attend these events because they're another great way to get more information. Once you're in school, so in business school or in grad school, some other common mistakes that I see occurring with our students often is forgetting about your mental and physical health. So this one tends to pop up pretty quick because you get into your program, you're excited, you're taking classes, you're meeting new people, you're really busy, there's so much going on, and it can be really easy to forget to take care of yourself mentally and physically. So I always tell students build in at least a few hours, ideally a whole day each week when you can rest, cook yourself some good meals so you have healthy food during the week, and just really make sure to take care of yourself mentally and physically. Because once that starts to weaken, then you're also not going to perform well in your classes. So take care of yourself, even though there's going to be a lot going on, and it can seem like, oh, it's who needs to think about sleep and eating healthily? That can easily become something that's not prioritized, but it should be something you keep highly prioritized during your studies. Another mistake is feeling like an imposter. I see this a lot with students in our business programs because many of them come from non-business backgrounds. So they've never studied business before, they've never worked in a corporate setting, and they feel like, ooh, should I really be here or do I fit in? And don't think that way because more than likely your peers in the classroom also are in a similar situation as you, and you have more similarities than you do differences. So I always tell students, don't feel like you're the odd one out. Don't feel like you shouldn't be there because it's not true. Every student has a unique background and perspective that they're bringing to our community and to our classroom, and makes for much more enriching and exciting classroom discussions, class projects. So I always tell students, be confident, don't feel like you don't fit in, because it's most certainly not true. Another mistake to avoid wherever you are studying is forgetting about campus resources. So every university in the United States has so many resources to take advantage of and are very helpful for you to continue to be successful in your classes. So don't forget that there's, for example, at Illinois Tech, we have an academic resource center, and they can help you if you are struggling to write an essay, or if you need help with study tips or time management. There's a writing center that can also assist with writing skills. We have a student health and wellness center, which can be very helpful if you are feeling unwell or maybe a little sad and missing home, you can schedule an appointment to talk to someone. So there's all sorts of resources available to students, and it's easy to forget they're there, but don't forget they're there, because when you need them, you want to be able to know exactly where to go. Another mistake is only thinking about your classes and academics and forgetting about career exploration, networking, internships, and jobs. And it's important to not forget about this piece of the puzzle, because when you're in a master's program, you usually have only 2 years before you graduate. So that's not a lot of time. You want to already be thinking about your future internship options, full-time job options, when you're in your first semester of studies. So yes, go to class, study, do your homework, but also go to career fairs, go to networking events with companies, go to presentations with companies. At Stewart School of Business, we have usually 2 to 3 of those types of presentations and networking events every week. And we really encourage students to go to those, even if they think they're too busy, because you're never going to be too busy for the job search. The sooner you begin looking for an internship and a job, the greater success you're likely to have in finding one when you are, at the point of needing it. And then finally, another mistake when you're in school is trying to graduate as fast as possible. Certainly, we don't want you to be with us for 3, 4, 5 years. We want you to finish in the appropriate amount of time, graduate, get a job, start making money. But don't try and graduate as fast as you can, because then most likely you're going to miss out on the career exploration activities, the networking events, joining a club or student organization and getting involved on campus. And all of those things are as equally important in your graduate school journey as the classes that you're studying in. So don't try to finish your classes too fast and then miss out on all the other aspects of being a student at the university. And now moving into which program is right for me. So this is something that will be different for everybody, of course, but some criteria to think about for what business school program or any graduate school program might be a good fit for you. There's a few listed here on the screen. So career alignment. So it's important to choose a program that fits well with the types of careers that you're interested in. So it doesn't make sense to study finance if your career goal is to be a doctor. And that's kind of a simple example, but that's all to say, choose a program that will best fit your future career goals. Another criteria to consider when determining a program that is a right fit is the program delivery and enrollment options. So you can be fully online, you can be in person for your studies, you can be a full-time student, part-time student. So there's a lot of different ways to study these days. There's no one set path anymore. It used to be every student would be full-time and in person to get their degree, but not anymore. There's so many different ways to study these days and different options. So you have to think about what you prefer. If you want to be in person, if you want to be online from your home country, if you want to be a full-time student or a part-time student, or maybe you want the flexibility to do all of those different options. Sometimes maybe you'll be full-time, or then the next semester you're part-time, or you're taking some online classes and some in person. So think about what is your preferred way for learning. Another criteria to consider is specializations. So you may not be interested to specialize when you're in your program, but perhaps you do. For example, maybe you want to get your MBA and specialize in marketing. Or maybe you're studying in an engineering program and you want to specialize in urban planning or various types. I'm not an engineer, so I can't tell you all the different specialization options. But all that to say, many graduate programs have specializations or tracks that allow you to dive a little bit deeper into a certain content area. So if that's important to you, if you want to be able to specialize, then make sure you're choosing a program that offers that. Another criteria that may or may not be important for you is experiential learning. So at Stewart and at Illinois Tech as a whole, we incorporate many experiential learning opportunities into our graduate programs. And these typically mean project-based work. So you're working on projects, you're connecting with companies on those projects, and having a lot of opportunities for active learning and using your knowledge in relevant and real world ways. And it tends to be that students who are in experiential learning types of programs are then much better prepared when they get into a job or internship. So if that's something you want, if you want to study in a program that offers a lot of experiential learning, then make sure that you're looking for that when you are reviewing websites and talking to admissions and doing that research to figure out what programs offer. Another important criteria that can help you determine the program that will be the best fit are program outcomes and alumni success. So what careers do alumni go into after graduating from that university in that program? What types of roles do they go into? Where do they work? And you probably have in mind already the types of careers, or you should have in mind the types of careers you're looking for, where you want to work, what companies you want to work for. And so looking for programs that will help you to get to those companies and to those roles is another great way to decide what the right fit is. Costs is also a big factor. We wish every program was going to be a good financial fit, but reality is some are going to be more expensive than others. Some may offer more scholarships than others. So cost is definitely going to be a factor to consider when you're figuring out what is right for you. And then finally, personal fit. So choose a program at a university where you feel like you are going to be happy studying there. You're going to feel like you're part of the community. You will enjoy living in that city or living on that university campus. And that can be a little bit hard to figure out if you can't visit in person every campus. But if you're talking to current students and alumni of a program, that's a great way to find out what it's like to actually live in that city or study at that particular university, and to understand what the community is like there, what their values are, and if it fits well with your own personal needs. So those are some criteria to keep in mind and sort of help you to decide what's the right fit. Certainly there's other criteria as well that can be considered. And some online resources that can help you determine what business school in particular might be a good fit are listed here on the screen. So GMAC, QS, and Access MBA are organizations that have a bunch of different business schools and business programs listed on their websites, and you can compare and contrast between them. For graduate school in general, QS is also another great resource. They have all different types of graduate programs represented, and so that's another great way to filter out what is a good fit or not a good fit based on the criteria that are important for you. Now, segueing more into the application, I am going to go over just a couple of tips to build a strong application. There are certainly other ways to be a strong applicant, but these are some that are, I think, easy to take care of and will go a long way to make your application strong. So for most programs you're applying to, whether it's a business program or engineering or architecture, you're probably going to have to write a personal statement. And so make sure that you're taking enough time to write a strong personal statement. And this is where that first step we talked about, so determining your why for going to grad school, is going to be really key. Because once you have this strong why, well, there's your personal statement. You've already written it. So it's just a matter then of putting it on paper. So when you're determining your why did you choose this school? Why did you choose this program? Why are you pursuing your master's degree now versus later? Those are all things that you can talk about in your personal statement and will make your personal statement very strong, because we'll be able to see that you have done your research, you know why this is important for you, and it's clear how we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us, as an institution. So you should have already figured out that why before you even started applying. But definitely when you're at that point of writing your personal statement, you want to make sure that you are being very clear, concise, and direct about what your why is. And tied into that, doing your research about the programs and the universities you're applying to will also help you to write a strong personal statement. And you'll be able to weave in specific details about each university into your personal statement to say, this is why I'm applying to Stewart, or this is why I'm applying to University of Nebraska, wherever it is. Having done your research to learn about that university will mean you know important details to include in your personal statement. You may or may not need to submit a resume. For business schools, you almost always need to submit a resume when you're applying to a master's program. Other grad programs may also like to see it, but it's really key to take the time to write a strong resume. Don't just throw this together in 5 minutes. Make sure that you are showing on your resume how your career path aligns with the program you're applying for. Include all relevant experiences. So even if you've never had a full-time career, that doesn't mean you don't have things you can put on your resume. If you did internships or certifications or any skills courses or the languages you speak, maybe you were part of a club or student organization and you held a leadership position. So make sure to include all of that on your resume. And this can really showcase to us all of the really cool things that you've already achieved and what you're going to be bringing to our student community. It will also show us as well how your previous career, internship, or leadership experience has led you to where you are now. And then we'll be able to see how going into this program will help continue along that path. And the next point here is letters of recommendation. You may or may not need to submit letters of recommendation. Some programs require it and some don't. But what I recommend for every student is to choose your recommenders wisely. Don't just choose anybody. Make sure you are selecting a recommender who knows you really well, either in an academic setting or in a professional setting, and they can really speak to your strengths either in the classroom or in a professional workspace. So this could be a coworker or a direct supervisor or a professor. As long as that person is someone who knows you well and you have a strong relationship with, then they can be a great recommender. Sometimes students think like, oh, I should choose the CEO of the company I work at. And that could be a good person to recommend you if you have worked closely with the CEO and they know who you are and they can give specific examples about your achievements in a professional setting. But if you work for a huge company, the CEO has never met you, well, what are they going to say about you? They're not going to be able to say much at all. And that's not going to be a very strong letter of recommendation. So be picky about who your recommenders are and choose wisely. And then the last two here are simple, but often forgotten. And the first here is proofread. So leave yourself enough time to go back and read through your entire application. And I guarantee you, you will find some easy mistakes to fix, some things that could be better explained in your personal statement, or maybe you missed a work experience on your resume. Whatever it is, proofreading will help you to tie up any loose ends and make your application stronger. And then finally, please make sure to review the curriculums of the programs you're applying for so that again, you can speak to them in your personal statement, and also so that you know you are going into the right program for you. So again, those are just a couple of tips. There's certainly other ways to be a strong applicant, but these will go a long way towards strengthening your materials. All right, so now I'll dive into just a few details specifically about Stewart School of Business. Again, that is the department at Illinois Institute of Technology that I work for. And Stewart is a great opportunity for you for your education because we are the only business school at a technologically focused university in Chicago. So that's unique. You don't find many business schools at technology universities. And what this allows for us is to combine both a business education and a more technical and analytical education in our programs. So if you want to develop your technical, analytical, and your business skill sets, you can do that at Stewart. That's something that's incorporated into all of the programs that we offer. And so we have our kind of slogan, our tagline as the university or the college that bridges business and technology and prepares you for future careers that will be technology and data focused, which in this day and age means all careers. You need to understand data and technology to be successful and to be competitive in the job market these days. And so that's what skill set we provide our students so that they're able to find a career within a couple months after graduation and then go on to continued success all throughout their career. And then before I move on, this is a photo of the city of Chicago. This is if you're standing on our campus and looking north towards downtown, this is what you see. So it's a great view that we get to enjoy at Illinois Tech. And to get from our campus to downtown, it's maybe 15 minutes or so on the train. There's 2 train lines that stop on our campus, and then we'll connect you to the main downtown city center area. So we're right there in the heart of the city, very close to everything. In terms of the master's programs that we offer at Stewart, here is the full list. So we have a few Master of Business Administration or MBA programs as they're called, a standard MBA, a fully online MBA on Coursera, and then 2 specialized MBAs in business analytics and technological entrepreneurship. And then we have a variety of specialized masters that allow you to go more deeply into a certain content area. So if you really want to dive deep into finance or marketing or project management, then a specialized master's in one of these areas will be a great fit. And then we have 2 PhDs as well. And almost all of our programs are STEM designated, which does mean that you are able to apply for optional practical training or OPT of up to 36 months in the United States after graduation. Usually OPT is just 12 months, so you are tripling the amount of time that you would have available to you to work in the United States after graduating with your degree if you study in a STEM designated program. And again, most of our programs are STEM designated. So I'm not going to walk through every single program, but if any of these are exciting to you, please do reach out and I'll be happy to meet with you one-on-one. And then if you are interested in applying for Stewart, it is a very simple process. We use an online application for admission. We usually have an application fee, but that is waived until March 1st. So if you get your application into us before March 1st, which is coming up fast, but if you apply before March 1st, you will not have to pay the fee. And then we do require your official transcripts, that 1-page resume and 1-page statement of purpose that we talked about earlier. We also need English proficiency scores. We accept the TOEFL, IELTS, or Duolingo. And then if you are applying to a master's program, you do not need to submit GRE or GMAT scores or letters of recommendation, but these are required for PhD. And again, this is just applicable for Stewart's business programs. Every university will be a little bit different, in terms of what they require to apply, but this is what is needed for stewards. So again, if you are wanting to talk about this in more detail, I'm happy to meet one-on-one with you. So that is what I have for you all today. The email address that you see here on the screen goes directly to me. So please feel free to reach out at any point, and I will be more than happy to meet with you one-on-one or chat over email, whatever is easiest for you.
Thank you so much, Clara. It was great to hear that most of everything you said, it's what we recommend you then in terms of application, in terms of deciding which is the best school for you, in terms of having a reason to get into graduate school. So there are some questions in here that it would be very helpful if we still have some time to go
Yeah,
over them.
definitely.
So one of the main questions is there an age limit? Because I am
Mhm.
40 or I am 45, I'm over. Is there an age limit to start graduate school? Is there such thing in Illinois Tech or any other school that you've heard about?
Yeah, that's a great question. At every university I've worked at, there is no age limit. And we've had students in our programs who are in their 50s and 60s and even older. So no age limit. We want students from all age demographics. And what we have recently done at Illinois Tech is we want to actually attract more working professionals who maybe never had the chance to be able to get a degree, and want to continue still, working and achieving their degree. So we've formulated our classes to be at times of the day and on days of the week that fit the schedule of those who are further along in their career. I hate saying older because I don't want to be ageist, but maybe a little bit older, and so we are more than happy to have students of all age groups coming into our programs.
Ok, that's great to hear. So, vocês aí que estão perguntando da idade, ela acabou de falar que eles estão, inclusive, querendo atrair pessoas que já têm mais anos aí de formada. Eles estão nessa fase de querer atrair mais esse tipo de pessoa. Another question, Claire, that I've seen here on our chat is, I don't have a degree. I know you talk about it. I've when you talked about it over on your presentation, but they're still asking. I guess they feel insecure because they don't have a major in business. Do they need to have a major in business? Do you guys welcome different majors? How is this at Illinois Tech?
Yeah, we get that question a lot, and you do not have to have business experience or a business major to come into any of our business programs. And honestly, I would say probably most of our students don't have a previous business background. We have a lot of students who studied engineering or computer science or even English, humanities, something non-business related, and they come into our programs and are very successful. One fun example I like to share, one of our professors who runs the Masters in Marketing Analytics program, he had a student in the program a few years ago that came from a culinary background, so cooking, and had no business experience, no quantitative experience, but really wanted to shift their career and just better understand analytics and marketing. And that student worked really hard and was one of the best students that that faculty has ever had in the program. So we welcome students of all different backgrounds and don't feel like you can't apply because you don't have any business experience. Most of our students don't have much, if any, business experience.
That's great to hear. So you guys are welcome to apply, regardless of your major. There's a business spot for you, I'm sure. Another question here, Claire, is what are the resources that Illinois Tech can offer for international students in terms of English improvement? That's a big concern, especially the Brazilians, for the Brazilians. It's that their English is not good enough and they're going to struggle with English once they get into graduate school. So, what are the resources that you guys have to offer for international students in terms of English?
Yes, yeah. We have an English language services office. So, an entire team that offers English language classes that students can take along with their major specific, so their program specific classes. And they have their own intensive English program that a student could apply to and do that first before beginning their major in business or in engineering. And that tends to be a 1 year long, very intensive, only taking English classes program. And then once you finish the intensive English program, you're have much better English language skills and can feel confident going into a major. For those that may have pretty good English skills and don't necessarily need to do an intensive English program like that. What you can do is take, we call it kind of concurrent enrollment. So English classes that you take at the same time as your required classes for your major. And that can be a great way to improve your English while also still making progress towards your degree. That may also be required if someone applies and has IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo scores that are below our requirement. Then they may be admitted because they're academically a really great fit for the program. But since we're concerned about the English language scores, we may say you're also required to do English language classes at the same time. So there's different options there to support students who feel like they need a bit stronger English language skills. So that's another thing to be aware of. Don't let that stop you from applying because we have options and other support in place to help you improve your English.
That's great, great to hear. Let me just go over there, and over with that in português. Ó, eu perguntei para Clara aqui quais os suportes, né, que tem para quem não tem um inglês fluente, que é o caso de 99% das pessoas, né. E ela falou assim que eles têm um escritório dedicado, a inglês para internacionais. E esse escritório direciona os internacionais para o que vai melhorar mais o inglês deles, né, seja, um curso, seja pegar aulas durante ali o semestre, e eles também dão suporte para escrever, para fazer os seus a assignments, assim, é um escritório inteiro só para suporte, para quem, obviamente, como todos nós, não tem um inglês fluente. Deixa eu ver o que mais tem de That's great, thank you, Clara. I'm going over, see if we have many more questions. So all the business masters at the Stuart Business Schools, they're all STEM designated, right?
Almost all of them. There's a
Almost all of them.
couple that aren't. I can go back to that
Mhm,
slide. So all the ones with the asterisk are STEM designated. So
mhm.
there's just the MPA, tech entrepreneurship, and then the two standard MBAs, which are not STEM
Are not
designated.
STEM designated. That's great. So todos esses aqui que tem um asterisco, pessoal, eles são STEM. O que significa que são STEM? É Science, ciência, tecnologia, engenharia e matemática. Todo curso que você faz nos Estados Unidos, seja um mestrado ou seja um doutorado, que tem essa designação, assim que você se forma no mestrado, no seu doutorado, você tem 3 anos de direito, é direito seu, vem junto com o seu visto. É um direito, independente se você vai fazer na Illinois Tech, se vai fazer em qualquer outra universidade. Se o curso tiver esta designação, que é uma designação que chama STEM, você tem direito a 3 anos de permissão de trabalho pós-formado. 3 anos de permissão de trabalho pós-formado. Por que que isso é importante? Porque você vai poder já finalizar o seu curso e já tem a permissão, assim, junto com o seu diploma. Os outros que não são STEM, são 12 meses de permissão de trabalho. Então STEM tem essa vantagem de ser 36 meses. Isso é bem legal para você prestar atenção na hora de escolher o programa que você vai aplicar. Beleza? Claire, yeah, I guess we covered most of the questions, and
Okay.
we have your email here. And I guess anything else you'd like to say?
No, just thank you again. for the opportunity, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. Get in touch if you want to discuss anything more, and I'm happy to meet with you.
Thank you, Clara. I'm just gonna finish with Dan and give some remarks, but thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Monique. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Ó, você que tá aqui, deixa eu te dar um recadinho final aqui em relação à nossa parceria com a Illinois. Tá vindo mais parceria com mais universidade americana e em breve teremos mais novidades. Essa live foi muito legal, depois vocês vão ver com legenda aqui. Ela falou ela falou de forma resumida, né, o que a gente fala de forma aprofundada dentro da mentoria. Foi incrível, eles abriram o jogo com a gente. E olha só, vocês têm que ter noção que vocês que estão aqui ouvindo são muito privilegiados, porque vocês tiveram a oportunidade de ver uma pessoa que é do comitê de admissão falando, o que que eles gostam de ver nos alunos ali, como que funciona as dicas para o processo. Então, se você chegou aqui, atrasado, fica tranquilo que depois você vai poder rever isso daqui com calma, a gravação vai ficar disponível, a gente vai colocar legenda em português para vocês não perderem nenhum detalhe. Se você não é inscrito no nosso canal, tô vendo que tem 230 pessoas aqui, você clica aí e se inscreve, porque em breve vai ter mais live. E para você que participou da imersão agora esse final de semana, corre lá no grupo para você ver a mensagem que eu pedi para nossa equipe, deixar para vocês. Beleza, pessoal? Incrível poder estar aqui essa noite com vocês. E a gente se vê aí durante a semana. Estaremos sempre lá no Instagram falando com vocês. E em breve vai sair mais vídeos novos aqui no YouTube, beleza? Beijo para vocês, boa noite aí, a gente vai se falando.